Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 great winter designer gems. Some of these are actually a little bit more popular. They may have been more popular back in the day, but they still get some mention except for one fragrance. Let's just jump into it right now. First one's gonna be Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. This had a lot of expectations with a lot of people back in the day when it came out in 2015, but I find that this stuff very underrated. This actually smells a lot like the original, which came out in 2008. That fragrance there kind of like took a gamble. Like everybody thought it was so unique, so different for a number of years. Like when I came into this community back in 2011 and when I started reviewing in 2013, the original was still being discussed. But when this one came out, it kind of like took over. And then when the other one came out, like just with flanker after flanker, then it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But this stuff is sexy, it's elegant, it's delicious, it's just a beautiful fragrance. There's coriander, ginger, cardamom, orange blossom, tobacco, and amber. This stuff is ambery, it's woody, it's warm, spicy, and there's that white floral touch. It's not overly white floral now, okay gentlemen? If you haven't smelled this one, don't let that white floral note itself turn you away, because this stuff is really good. People have complained that the longevity of this, because it's an eau de parfum concentration, is not all that much better than the original. I think the original was like 4 to 5 hours. I think I got like 5 to 6 hours. This stuff here is actually really good on my skin. I get 8 to 10 hours, which I'm very glad. But even if this only lasts 6 to 7 hours, just reapply as the day goes by. But if this is an eau de parfum concentration, you are expecting to last at least a minimum of 7 hours. But this stuff, dressing it down to dressing it up, daytime, nighttime, very formal, but it has a bad boy edge. It's dark, it's mysterious, but it's classy at the same. Love this one. Fragrance number 2, this one here is just an insanely beautiful fragrance. I mentioned this one a lot in previous years. I guess I haven't fallen out of love with it. It's just because I have so many fragrances, it's just it gets lost up in my small little brain, okay? But Givenchy Gentlemen Only Absolute. This stuff is incredibly spicy, incredibly warm, inviting. It's got cinnamon, saffron, nutmeg. There's also some vanilla and some woods. I'm not sure if it's sandalwood or if it's gaiac wood. It's more than likely sandalwood. But this stuff is just, like it's Christmas in a bottle. Because of that cinnamon note, it reminds me of cinnamon pine cones when I was a kid. Like my family didn't do that, didn't get those. I used to work for a craft and nursery store, and like every Christmas and I was there for like 4 years, had it. You know, it reminds me of that. I love the warm spices. You can dress this one down to dressing it up, daytime, nighttime, very versatile. It does have a little bit more of a mature feel to it, like 30 and up, but someone in their 20s could rock this easily. This also gets some comparisons to Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb, which I don't have in this room right now. It's actually in the other room. I wish I brought it. But yes, there is some of that similarities. I just prefer this stuff here. Longevity, fantastic. 9 to 11 hours. Fragrance number 3, I almost showed you the wrong bottle, but it's from Ralph Lauren, and we're going to be talking about Polo Supreme Leather. I had the cashmere in my hand. I'm like, wait a minute, that does not look like the leather. This stuff is, out of the 3 that Ralph Lauren has, leather, cashmere, but also the oud, this by far is my favorite. There's leather, there's honey, tonka bean, and warm spices of nutmeg, saffron, and cardamom. The honey, the leather, and the warm spices. I've talked about this one and I've hyped it up so many times. This one made a lot of previous autumn and winter videos for very good reason. This stuff is just beautiful. This is like niche quality in a bottle. It's becoming more expensive, unfortunately, because they are becoming a little bit harder to find. This was a limited edition that came out in 2015. If you can get this for a good price tag, and I'm thinking like 80 to 100 bucks, it's worth every penny. For me, it's worth every penny. I've seen these as high as like 140. That's a little expensive, but I would spend about 120. 120 is probably like the max that I would spend for something like this. But you could dress it down, dressing it up. Perfect signature scent. It's classy, but that honey and that tonka bean, like the sweetness, do add a little bit more of a fun vibe to it. All around, great scent. Longevity, 8 to 10 hours. Fragrance number 4, this one just does not get any mention, and it's actually really good. Calvin Klein Euphoria Pure Gold, or Pure Gold Euphoria, whatever it is, it's a good scent. This does smell similar to other fragrances that do have the same similar note breakdown, but what you're gonna get oud or agarwood, you're gonna get vanilla, saffron, cardamom, rose, juniper, and sandalwood. So yeah, it does smell like other woody, oudy fragrances, but what adds some uniqueness to it is that vanilla itself. That vanilla itself does tone it down, and you're also gonna get some of that rose. This all around is a great fragrance that I only spent like 50 bucks. This is a tester bottle. I don't need the cap, I don't need the box, but this stuff is masculine, it's mature, and I also think that because it smells like other fragrances out there, like Ferrari Essence Oud and just other oud, woody, rosy fragrances, that this can be unisex. I believe it's only marketed as men, but women, you could rock this as well. This is a Westerner's take on a Middle Eastern fragrance. Overall, look into it. It's classy, it's elegant, dressing it down to dressing it up. Very versatile. Longevity off this was 8 to 9 hours. And fragrance number 5, this one, yeah, this one was definitely hyped back in the day. It's still relatively popular within our own community, but not with like regular average Joes out there. But GUERLAIN L'Homme Idéal. This stuff was launched in like 2014 or 2015. I remember Steven, Redolescence, really rocking this, and I had like a birthday gathering when I was in NYC so many years ago, back in 2015 actually, and he was rocking the shit out of this. He was like, I smelled this, and he like, but this stuff really projected. But I definitely got the almond and the tonka bean off him. There's also some leather. There's citruses, orange blossom, and cedar. So it's a leather, sweet, nutty scent that's just gorgeous. Because of that sweetness and that almond accord, I personally think that women could rock this no problem. I think that this could actually be classed as a unisex fragrance, even though that this is marketed towards the men. It's not the most masculine fragrance, don't get me wrong. I think that even though that this is unisex, this is more masculine than this, in my opinion. But I love the nutty accord, like that almond. I love the sweetness, the leather. Overall, great scent, dressing it down to dressing it up. Daytime, nighttime, it's pretty much ageless, but I would not say that this is a high school fragrance. College, all the way to a grandfather, and longevity off an eau de toilette was great, 8 to 9 hours. That's it, I just gave you 5 great designer gems that pretty much don't get a lot of talk about, except for maybe 1 or 2. What videos to watch next? Please check out this side here if you want to see some colder seasons fragrance. They might be fall or winter. These ones can actually be used for both fall and winter time. So guys, before you go, please make sure to give me one of these, as I really would appreciate it, and it does help with the channel. I thank you for your time, take care, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.